Hi there. I'm Chelsea Reue, a childcare sales specialist and fellow preschool owner, and welcome to the Preschool Owners ABCs, a series where we break down key business terms you actually need to understand to run and sell a preschool with confidence. Today's letter is A, and it stands for Asset Purchase Agreement, or APA for short. If you're thinking about selling your school, this is one of the most important documents you'll come across, and also one of the most misunderstood. So, what is an APA? An asset purchase agreement is the legal contract that spells out exactly what a buyer is purchasing when they buy your business. And here's the key. In most childcare transactions, the buyer is not buying your entire LLC or corporation. They're purchasing specific assets. Things like your equipment, your school's reputation, your phone number, and your website. The APA outlines everything. What's included, what's excluded, the deal terms, the timeline, and what happens post-sale. What's typically included? Now, every deal is different, but here's what's commonly included in an APA when selling a preschool. Your classroom furniture and equipment, the school's name and goodwill, meaning your reputation, brand, and parent relationships, your curriculum and lesson plans, if they're transferable, the website, domain name, phone number, and even your social media accounts. And often a non-compete clause and some post-sale training or transition time with you as the seller. These are the assets buyers are really interested in because they represent the functioning business. What's typically excluded? But just as important as what's included is what's not. Buyers usually don't want to inherit your legal entity, your bank accounts, or your debts. Here's what's commonly excluded: your LLC or corporate structure, any cash in your accounts, outstanding tuition still owed to you, loans, liabilities, and other financial obligations, and often your state childcare license, because in many states, the buyer will need to apply for their own. That's why clean books and good documentation matter so much, because we're only selling the assets, not the baggage. Common misunderstandings. Let's clear up a few common misconceptions that can trip sellers up. First, they're buying my whole business. Actually, no, they're buying specific assets. That's why it's called an asset purchase agreement. Second, they'll take over my debts. Only if it's explicitly written into the deal, and spoiler, it usually isn't. Third, my license goes with the business. In most states, the buyer must apply for their own license. That process is part of the transition plan, but it's not automatic. Why the APA matters. So why does this document matter so much? Because the APA is your roadmap to a smooth, professional, protected sale. It sets expectations, outlines, obligations, and keeps both parties on the same page, literally and legally. It's not just a formality. It's the thing that determines what gets transferred, how, when, and under what conditions. Without a strong APA, deals fall apart, or worse, lead to conflict at closing. Prep tips before you sell. Here's how to start getting ready. Make a list of all the assets you plan to include in your sale. Confirm those assets are owned by the business, not you personally. Separate personal and business finances if you haven't already, and work with a broker and attorney who understand childcare transactions, not just general business. Remember, this is likely the biggest financial deal of your life. You don't want guesswork here. So grab the free APA prep guide. To help you feel more confident and prepared, I've created a free resource just for you. The APA Prep Guide, What to Expect When Selling Your Preschool. It walks you through what's typically included, what's excluded, and gives you key terms to understand and smart questions to ask. This guide helps you enter the process informed and ready, not overwhelmed. You can grab it now inside the resource library at chelseareue.com. Final thoughts. Here's the bottom line. The clearer your APA, the smoother your sale. You've worked hard to build your preschool. Don't let a vague or generic contract put your legacy at risk. And please, don't try to DIY a 6 or 7 figure legal document. This is where professional support matters most. Disclaimer. And of course, this video is for educational purposes only. I'm not a lawyer and this is not legal advice. You should always work with a qualified attorney and a broker when preparing to sell your school. If you found this helpful, there's plenty more where that came from. Check out the full resource library for free tools to help you build and sell a stronger preschool. Or book a private strategy call with me at chelseareue.com. I'm here to help you exit with clarity, confidence, and peace of mind. See you in the next ABCs episode.